picture this. You're a ping pong player. And you decide, you know what? I'm going to win. And I'm going to win by cheating. And so you mess with your paddle. And you tweak a little thing here, and a little thing there. Maybe make it a little concave. Maybe make it a little convex. Maybe start messing with the brightness. A little brightness slider on your paddle. Maybe you're tweaking it up a little too high. And you're like, who's going to catch me? No one's going to catch me. That's where you'd be wrong. Because there's one man out there. There's a man out there that will catch you. And not just any man. A man who will stand up against the tyranny, the deception, and the lies that are in the ping pong community. But if you didn't know this, where you been living? It's his mission to not only prevent you from cheating, but to clean up the sport. All right? And if you don't believe me, let's take a look. Let's take a look. You're going to see what I just saw. And it's the greatest thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. And you're going to get to see this man judge paddles. And I mean, he judges these paddles. He's going to judge what? We're going to see him judge one paddle. But it's a hell of a judging. And I hope you brought a seatbelt because this is a wild ride, baby.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
I am here to test my player's racket.
Yes, please. Please hand me the racket. Thank you. What's the player's name?
Gozi.
Okay, a couple things to notice right off the bat. Number one, there's a guy in the background. And he peeks his head in, he looks both ways and goes, nothing in here for me. He's trying to sneak away with one of them paddles, I'm telling you. That guy was up to no good. I can smell a rat. We're 14 seconds in, and it's already just perfect. We got the lady who's waiting for action, and then we have a random guy on set, just walks and looks both ways, like he's about to switch a paddle out, and he's like, oh, Guardian's here, and dips out real fast.
He's from France.
Yeah, he's French.
And do you know his back number, just by chance?
13.
It's 13.
Yeah.
Okay. What we'll check first is the supplier name and the brand name of the rubber in order to see that it's legal and admitted. So this is supplier Yasaka, and this is the brand name Raksa 7. Fortunately, we have the ITTF numbers on it, so this means I just may collect the numbers. That's 83007, and the same on the black side. That's fine. Which means I have a number for the supplier, which is 83, and 007 for the brand. Just a quick check.
What
that
is
the
this?
Supplier and brand is on the list of authorized racket coverings. Shortly.
There's going to be a couple times where she's going to ask him something, and he is not going to answer. He'll do this a few times, and it's great every time. He's been stabbed one too many times by a sharpened ping pong paddle, and now he's out for blood. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. The interaction between these two is perfect. Like, you couldn't even script it, because she just sits there the whole time, and then we'll ask like one thing, and then he'll just keep going like she didn't say anything. After this was all done, like when cameras cut, I'm pretty sure he looked at her and he was like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was going on with all these questions? What are you asking me these things for? That wasn't on the script. I don't know if you fucking read it, but it wasn't on. The transitions between these two is just, oh, it's what I live for.
We just check if 83.007 is in. Because, as you probably know, only those rubbers are admitted which are on the actual rubbers list. So it's 83 for Yasaka, and here we have the 007 for Raksa 7. That's fine.
Okay.
So, brand and supplier is legal.
The next step?
Next step is to measure flatness of the racket, because one problem could be if you measure thickness of the rubber and there is a bubble in the middle, then it can be legal on the outside, but with the bubble in the middle, it can be too thick. So we have this smart device, which to put up here, and you can see it as well.
Yeah.
What we measure is minus 19.
Yeah.
That means that it's 0.19 millimeters deeper in the center than on the right and on the left, which is absolutely legal.
Okay.
So this is the red side of the flatness. It is minus 0.19. And the same thing, of course, is done on the black side. And again, you can see it yourself. It is now minus 0.24, which is fine again, because the limit is minus 0.50. That says half a millimeter can the racket in the center be deeper than on the outside.
Great.
The next thing to do is now measuring thickness of both sides. This device.
Before we get into measuring the thickness of both sides, you're going to notice throughout this video, he's going to start pulling out tools that you've never seen before that is like specifically made for this kind of thing. Printing on the rubber, the brand name, he's measured it with a thing for convex, concave. There's like a limit of 0.5. They're halfway there. Now's the thickness meter. So now we're going to see how thick it is. Who wrote these? He wrote the rules. I don't know why I was going to ask who wrote these rules. He clearly wrote these rules. He's going to start pulling out things like he's Batman. Like he's got the tool belt and thickness meters and gas readers and color reader. It's wild what he has. I don't know who bought them. I'm pretty sure they're all his personal stuff.
Of the wood in comparison to the height of the rubber. It's just measuring the difference of the two heights from this pin sitting on the wood here and these two positioned on the rubber. The difference, as we can see here, for you, it's 382. We make an average measure because there can be different heights on both sides. It's now 3.75, and this gives an average just 380, which means that the red side is legal. The same we do on the black side. And again, and perhaps to show it now to you from the other side, but I can turn it around. And it seems that the black one is even smaller. It gives you 3.52 on the one side, and we do the same on the other side, which gives us 3.72. And perhaps to make a third check on diagonal basis, it gives us 3.74, which averages to 3.65 if I have calculated that correctly in my head, but I do it every day, so I think so.
I don't know if you caught that there. He measures it out, right? He measures the one side. He's like, all right, this side's Gucci. This side's legal. Flips it over to the other side, measures it twice. He's like, all right. And then you can do it 3 times just to get an average. It goes diagonally. Then he adds up all 3, and he's like, that average, 3.65 if I did it in my head correct. One, he said he does this every day, which somehow I believe, but at the same time, are you measuring ping pong paddles that often? Like every day? He's just immediate, just throws a little flex out to the crowd. If I did the math correctly in my head, which I do it every day, so, you know, chances are that I'm pretty accurate on that. I do the math. It's one of the best parts of the whole video, where he just throws out a little shade to the side, and then he just keeps going, like nothing ever happened. Like he didn't just throw that out there. Out of everything in the video, it's the one thing that kind of out of left field, just straight a little side out of pocket, like not out of full pocket, but like, you know, the little tiny pocket that's on your jeans and you can't really, like you put 2 fingers, it was out of that pocket.
That the rubbers by themselves are not too thick, they have the correct brand, and they are flat, so the rubbers by themselves are legal.
What is a thickness measurement which is not allowed?
The limit is 4.0, that's set in the rules of table.
That's another one of my favorite moments in the entire video, where she has the audacity, the fucking gall. If you watch him when she asks, he'll look her dead in the face, shrug his shoulder and be like, it's 4. Imagine it's you, and you're sitting there, you're measuring the ping pong paddle, you're getting like $20 an hour because God knows you got to be paid at least $20 an hour to want to even do that. You're measuring it, right? And the person sitting across from you getting their paddle measured, and they're just like, hey, what's the limit on that? You're like, it's 4. And they're like, oh, word. But in this case, he's just like, it's 4. He proceeds to get into this with this lady, breaking it down in the most just rough way I've ever seen it. Points, he's just like 4.04, it gets rounded down, 0.05 gets rounded. He just gets into this. It's a beautiful part of the video. A little shoulder thing he does when she asks, like he brushes it off, like she just insulted his Bible of ping pong paddles.
Which is not allowed.
The limit is 4.0, that's set in the rules of table tennis. You see 4.0, that's 1 digit.
Yeah.
We are measuring 2 digits.
Yeah.
This means everything up to 4.04 is rounded down statistically to 4.0 and would be okay.
Yeah.
And everything that is 4.05 and above is illegal.
Okay. Thank you for the information.
So, we have seen that the rubber
I mean, look at her face. He goes on this whole thing about rounding up and down, and after it, she's just very nicely just like, well, thank you for that information. And homeboy, someone says thank you. I don't know if anybody taught you this, but you just go, you're welcome. Yeah, no problem. This is my pleasure. But in this case, she goes, thank you for the information. He ignores her, just goes. Anyway, so he continues on with the thing, and the look, she just like pops back up. It just cracks me up. He's just like, no, don't thank me. Should have done your research. Should have looked into the fucking rules so I don't have to explain it to you. The hell's wrong with you?
Legal on both sides. It is not too thick and it is flat, and the brands are legal. The next thing is one of the biggest topics that we have in table tennis right now. It's volatile organic compounds, which means things going in the air, gas, glue, rubber cleaner, anything else. And with this device, we are measuring that. This is called RAE, R-A-E. It's what the boys from the chemistry say, it's a photoionization detector. That means the gas is becoming electronically charged and produces a current from one point to another. And you can measure in parts per million what the gas is that we get out of here. The rules say that the measurement will be 20 seconds for each rubber. We have a background level at first. This is 0.0 at the moment, indicating that no gas is in the room. And we only measure the difference for 20 seconds. And it looks like this is a very clean rubber side because it almost releases no gas. Okay, the 20 seconds is over. We had 0.0 at the beginning, 0.2 at the end, which is very good because the limit is 4.0. So we have only 5% of the limit. And this limit is already very, very small compared to the Ines boxes we had until last year. They discovered things that are higher by the amount of factor 10. So to get all the tuners and boosters out of table tennis, this device was applied. And we do the same on the red side. The background reading start is 0.0. And again, 20 seconds. I have the stopwatch here. I think this is produced by a special company for environmental care, because normally it's used in environmental care and measurements, and for military uses also. And the ITTF has adopted it to table tennis in a light version to get it cheaper and to get it calibrated to the things we need to do here. So this is our very smart device we use from this year on during the next years, hopefully. Okay.
There's so much to just dig into with that whole section. Number one, what does he mean the biggest thing going on right now is the gas levels coming off of the ping pong paddle? Like, I imagine it's not messing with the ozone that much. I mean, a little bit for sure. Like I mentioned earlier, he pulls out gadgets like he's fucking Batman. Like he's go gadget gas detector. Pulls out this giant Russian green gas detector and he puts it down. 20 seconds and he busts out a trusty stopwatch. Guarantee he's had it since the academy that he trained ping pong paddling at. Because it's 20 seconds, 20 seconds sitting there watching a ping pong paddle. He starts flexing his machine and he's like, this was originally used for military purposes. Environmental studies. We had it tweaked for the International Table Tennis League. I think he said ITTL, probably International Table Tennis League. Can shot in the dark. We had it modified, a little smaller, a little lighter. Tweaked it to what we need. And I'm like, who tweaked it? Who did you get to tweak this machine that's used by the military and environmental studies? Tweaked it for table tennis. Would you get Mark Rober out there to just tweak the coding on that? Michael Reeves to just hack it up? It's like his next video is going to be like how I changed a $400,000 environmental tester into a ping pong paddle gas detector. That sounds like some shit he would do. He goes through this whole thing and just starts explaining everything, how he's like, so the big thing that we're looking into is the gas coming off of these bad boys because they're gassy. We're looking into it. He's like, for the future years, if they bring it back, hopefully they do. He fucking loves loves it. You know he's had it. He got the first one off the line. He pre-ordered. Right? As soon as he heard this was coming up, bought it. He bought his ready to go. Because he knew, because he does it every day, like you mentioned. But I do this every day. It's a big issue with the gas thing. Hers was like 0.2. Something like that. 0.2, 0.02. The gas coming off of that thing. And he goes, which is good because the limit is 4. What do you mean 4? If that one was coming in at 0.02 and the limit is 4%, like what the hell is going? They're really under on that one. They could have gassed her up. Could have won. Just wanted to break down that whole gem that we just saw.
Amount of gas released is almost nothing. It's very good. This is the most important thing that we have to do at the moment. And the last thing that we have to do with your racket is a gloss check. Gloss means if the racket is too bright, it can unsight the opponent. Just like blinding jewelry or things like that that you may not wear. So, this is a gloss meter. It has an ultraviolet lamp inside, and you just put it on the racket, and you can measure the reflection. So this gives us 11%, which is very good because the limit is 24. We can average this as well, but it seems it is 11 all over the rubber. This is very good. And the same thing, of course, on the black side. It's normally lower because, black is not so bright color. And
black is not so bright color. The most important thing is the reflective. He compared the red side of a ping pong paddle to bright jewelry, which I can see. You know, you got your 2 chains, you got your Soldier Boys, you got your ping pong paddles. I'm surprised rappers ain't walking around with a paddle strapped. They're dripping, glossy, just shining. Rihanna, shining bright like a diamond. Should have been shining bright like a ping pong paddle. You're out there just blinding, twisting, half the game hitting the ball, other half just getting the light right just to blind your opponent. He can't see anything. He's freaking out. He's like, whoa, judge. Ping pong paddle, limit, 20%. Right, this is clearly a 35, right? I know a 35%er when I see a 35%.
On average, we have 6%, which also doesn't make any problems. These are the 4 measurements we do: flatness, thickness, gas, and gloss. The general appearance of the racket is very good as far as I can see. There are no broken edges, no part of the rubber is missing. I tear away the trimming a little, and I can see it's cut very well. So you can see there's no part of the rubber standing over the wood, and it's no part of the rubber you can see on that side that's too short. So the cutting is very good. So I would say this racket is all over very good. It's okay. You can play with it.
Okay, so I will tell my player.
We take it here. We leave because it is brought to the table.
Okay.
Because the problem would be a player intending to cheat would, of course, exchange this readily controlled racket.
And how will he get his racket back?
You see how excited he got when he was breaking down cheaters? Like, you know this man. I want to see a video of him catching a faulty ping pong paddle. I want to know. He brings out the death squad. He gets excited. He's talking about cheaters. Can't even give it a glowing review. It came in under on everything. And he's like, great paddle. This is a legal paddle. You can play with it. It's not bad. It's a glowing review on his end. She's like, cool. I'll tell the player. Paddle's good. And he immediately like, ooh, you can't fucking take it to him. Are you high? Are you crazy? You want to take it to him? She didn't even ask, but he was disgusted immediately. He's like, you can't take it to him. It's like, we're going to keep it. And then he breaks down the scenario. Like, you can't figure it out in 3 seconds why she can't take it. Picture this. We just went through this whole thing. Ping pong paddle, G2G. Good to go. Everything is crisp. Everything's looking good. My seal of fucking approval. Then you take it. Homeboy switches it out. Next thing you know, he's walking in there with an LED stripped out, gas guzzling, concave, convexed, just ping pong paddle, winning matches left and right. Not on my fucking watch, right? Not with my name signed on this shit. He takes this so seriously, and he needs to. He needs to, because who else is going to do it? No one else is going to do it. And it's everything I love. Everything I love and more. But if there's a video of this man denying a paddle, I want to see it, because I'm 98% sure he just whacks them then and there. Like a group of 4 people. In the background, there's people coming in and out, and then looking in and looking out, because they've seen it before. He unleashes the dogs. He feeds them to where he takes the dismembered paddles at.
Yeah.
What is happening now
Yeah.
is that I put it
Yeah.
into a bag. The bag gets a small piece of paper. I write the name of your player
Gozi.
on the paper. This is Mr. Gozi. This is table number 1 at 1600 today.
Yeah.
And this means that we just keep the racket here. And one of our team will then bring it to the umpires, together with your opponent's racket, of course.
Okay.
And it will be handed to your player directly at the table at match start.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
We're done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Good luck for the rest.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
And that's that. Painless. Easy money. Another W. Ping pong paddle, good to go. I like the fucking airtightness of the whole scenario, though. Ping pong paddle, I take it, I signed off on it. Bag in the bag, signed, locked, twisted, name. He even put military time on there. He was like 1,600 hours is when they're playing. Teeing up at 1,600, table 1. I guarantee he hand delivers them. He walks out there, hand delivered. I want a fair fucking match. I've checked both paddles out here. Everything is good to go. I love it. It's a fantasy. He's like, that's it. All right. Easy as that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He just goes through it. I like how she also right at the end, she's like, good luck with doing this fucking all day. And he's just like, I know, thank you. I do it in my spare time. I bet you, I bet you think he goes to like rec centers, like where like kids are playing, and like that's how he does it every day. Because there's no way that there's a ping pong tournament every single day. But like he just shows up at places where people are just playing ping pong, and he's like, those fucking paddles aren't regulation. And everybody's like, what? I mean, he just got these at like Walmart. He's like, at fucking Walmart? Ew. So let me see those paddles. It's disgusting. You look at the brightness on that. The gas alone, I can smell it from here. I just wanted everybody else to see the masterpiece of a video that I'd seen. If you want to see it, I'll link it kind of in the description so you can watch the whole thing without me there. If you want to see more of me, stay around. See a video or two. I also stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Merlinus the Wizard. MERLINUS the Wizard. Like Merlin the Wizard, but since Merlin was taken, I put Merlinus. This is the way to end the video, I guess, is to just warn all of you ping pong cheaters out there. There's someone out there. There's a man out there that's preventing you from cheating in ping pong. He's got his eye out. I guarantee you can't slip anything past him. I guarantee he won't take a bribe. You could offer him $1 million. He ain't taking that shit. Hello, this is future Merlin. It is 5:33 in the morning. I've been up all night editing. It's a blast. You're watching TV on the side. While I was editing, I looked at the original video and went to the comments and found out the guy, and I can show you here, he's active as of, I think, 7 months ago is what I saw on there. So this is him right here, and he comments. I mean, as of 7 months ago, there was one. Still interesting to read very recent comments about our training video. Although today, 1 decade has passed since it was posted. So it was a decade, 7 months ago when this passed. It says, I do not see any really new questions not answered by me within the threads. But what's fun is if you go through some of these, you'll see his name pop. Boom. There he is. And I think he just goes over all of these. And his comments are funny on some of these. And he'll pop, like, look at it. There he is again. It's not even his real job, which I can't believe he was so good at. He's like, no. It's not my real job, but volunteering a thing for that deals with calculated figures would be easier for your professional mathematician. That explains the part where he does the averaging and he goes, but I do it every day. So that makes sense. I can see him doing math every day. It makes sense. The more we learn. And he tries all of these. He's great. Seems like a great guy. Some of these don't have him in there, but some of these are in here. But there he is again. Okay, here we go. Can you imagine if someone was 0.5 millimeter over the limit? All hell would break loose. Assassins would smash through the windows. Flashbangs would explode. And ninjas would whisk the racket away into the night. Yes, all hell would break loose. Even in my grassroots league, many players probably could tell from that behavior of the return stroke when a racket covering is 4 millimeters stick instead of just 4.0. On the World Tour, it's light year. Otherwise, we would not have initiated concerns about this issue. Oh, it's fantastic. Look at even people are like, this is great. It cracks me up. And he's on so many of these. Some of them he's not, but like they're like every other, I'd say. Every couple other, he'll pop up. But here he is again. He goes over all these. Like, it gets really specific. It's the greatest thing. And it's so fun to go in through. I only went through a few of these, but like I was popping through it. I was like, yeah. And there was, oh yeah, like this one. I never knew that I could blind my opponent with a racket. He's like, more or less, yes, but this part of the racket control is no longer done. Because other than thickness, you hardly ever encountered an opponent claiming a problem from a glossy rubber, which is fantastic. And I thought this was funny. I wanted to point it out. So if anybody wanted to go through all of these and find some of these comments, they're hilarious. This one, I watched this thing about 30 times, listened to it more than once, and to fall asleep. What's wrong with me? And he's like, 2 things are wrong with you. 1, you already speak English. 2, you probably do not play on the World Tour. Therefore, the video is irrelevant for your life. However, falling asleep is still cheaper than renting sheep and counting them. So, fair enough. I like the guy. It's funny. It's just, I can't believe he's commenting on all of these. It's really funny to see. Good guy. I had already edited everything, so I gotta put this in there now. Like, I've been up. Like, I've been up since yesterday. I've been just almost 24 hours of me being away. I wanted to throw this in there. Thanks for watching. Maybe I'll make this the new ending. I'll put it in the end. If anybody gets that far, preach. See ya.